Welcome back. So in the last video we installed Ubuntu server on a virtual machine using VirtualBox. We set up a user account, we configured some hard drives, two network adapters, and we have now booted the machine and we have our initial login screen. If you remember, we set up an account called user1 as our default user and the password, which was just all lowercase password, which I've now typed in. Please note that you do not see the password being typed in at the prompt. So when we press return, we should get a login screen. It's now telling me that I'm logged in, and as you can see down here, it says that 176 packages can be updated, and 115 updates are security updates. So we'll look at updates and upgrades in a second. It also tells us that there's a new release, 1804.3, available. Run do-release-upgrade to upgrade to it. We're not going to do the upgrade to 18 just at this moment. We will stick with our version 16. It also tells us to run a command as an administrator or root user, you must use sudo. Okay, so in most of the commands you're going to run, you're going to have to prefix them with sudo, which is your super user do, which allows you to run a certain command with elevated rights, but does not give you full root privileges. This can be seen on the prompt for our command line where it says user1 add ubuntu1 colon tilde dollar. The dollar signifying that we are not a root user, standard user. The tilde signifying that we are in our current location is our home directory, which we saw when we were doing the install. The at ubuntu1 is the name of the server that we're working on, and user1 is the name of the currently logged on user. So if we run a command like ls, which is this listing, which is similar to dir in Windows, we can see that there's no files in there. Remember, everything in Linux is a file. So if we did a cd command and we went to the root directory, we'd now see the tilde is gone and the root directory is listed beside the dollar sign. If we now do ls, we get a listing and we can see colored names. You can see bin, dev, home, lib, etc. You can see some green ones, VM, Linux, init rd.image, and one with a background tmp. So what exactly do all these mean? If we go very simply ls space minus l, we actually get a better directory structure. And briefly to explain what's happening here is that you can see the very first on the left hand side beside the first output, which is bin. On the left hand side of that you see drwxr-xr-x. Basically what that's telling us is it's a directory, D for directory. If we go down further, 5 or 6 down to the init rd one, we'll see that that's file. And if we go down further, we'll see that temp is our TMP is also a directory. So we have a couple of files, good few directories, and remember this is at the root of your installation. Okay. The RWX and that beside the D basically means read, write, and execute. So the owner has read, write, execute. Then you have read and execute, which is the group that the member of has read, execute, but no write. And then everybody else or others have read and execute. We'll talk about permissions in that in later videos. But for the moment, have a look at the first one, the bin folder. It's a directory and the owner has read, write, execute. Some of the others do not have. If you look at the TMP, the fourth last one down, where it's got a background of a different color, you can see that everybody has read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. Okay. So basically that is the temporary folder as such. So we can see where we can see a directory listing. So it's a very easy way of doing it. Likewise, if we go back to our tilde directory again, you can see we're back into our home directory, and ls by itself will show us there's nothing in there itself. So the next thing we need to do is to look at the account we're logged on with. The account we're logged on with is a standard user, user1. But it is a member of the sudoers group, which means it can be elevated or it can run commands elevated. Okay, so whenever we want to write a command, we have to prefix it with sudo, which is the super user do. Okay, and then we follow it by our command. If we don't do that, we will not be able to make changes. So it's important that you remember that in itself. Okay, We'll talk about elevating or enabling the root account data later on, but remember we didn't specify any passwords or anything for root, so at the moment we cannot log on as root. So we are in as our user one, and the first command we're going to use is what's called apt. Now I'm going to just show you here, if you type in man followed by apt, you will get the manual pages for that command. And you can see that it says name apt, it's command line interface, synopsis, and then you see all the various options you can have, such as apt update, apt install, etc. And there's a description of each one of them as you go down. So one of the first ones we can see there is update. Update is used to download package information from all configured sources. Other commands operate on this data, to example, perform package upgrades or search in and display details about all packages available for installation. Now, there's also a note there beside that where it says update apt-get. apt-get is more of a legacy command in that it was a lower level command. You had things like apt-get, apt-cache, etc. But over the last number of releases of Linux versions, apt has become more standardized, which gives you access to all of those apt-get, apt-cache, etc. So that gives you a page at a time, and you can see that at the very bottom of the screen says manual page, line 1, press H for help or Q to quit. Well, if we press the return key, we will go down one line at a time, and you can see apt install, remove, etc. If we hit the space bar, we go one page at a time. So you can see that you're going all the way down through all of the help. And when you're finished reading the help, you can just Q for quit. So the man command is basically the manual pages for whatever command we have. So for example, man ls, which is our listing, and that gives you the various parameters that can go with it. -A for all, minus capital A, remember it's case sensitive. Your spacebar will give you a page at a time. You can see it's going all the way alphabetically down through it. And as we go down, we can see that the listings are all there, the ones that we used earlier on. So again, quit, hit your Q, and we're back to where we are. If we type in clear, we clear the screen off. So we're currently logged in as user 1 at Ubuntu 1, home directory, standard user. We are going to first of all do some updates. So we're going to go apt space, and again we want updates. But however, we know that this is going to have a problem, and because we are not running it as sudo. So if we do apt updates, it says invalid operation because it's update, not updates. And it comes down and it says, oh, could not open lock file, unable to lock directory, problem unlinking the file, permission denied, permission denied, permission denied. So we're going to repeat the command apt update, but we're going to run it with sudo. So sudo space apt update. It now asks us for the password of user 1 to confirm that this is user 1 that is actually a different process that is actually running the command. And now I'm not sure if I put the whole command there or not, or the password in. So password, and off it goes. Okay, and you can see it's reading package lists, building dependency tree, reading state information. It says 170 packages can be upgraded. So run apt list dash dash, now no 2 dashes, upgradable to see what can be upgraded. So let's run this apt space list. Well, actually apt list will list out all of the apps and their current state, but we want to go dash dash upgradable. And we can see all the ones that are available to us to be updated. Okay, so we are going to hit your up arrow key to repeat your commands, and we're going to go upgrade again with the sudo command in there. And now it's going off. It says after this operation, 287 meg of additional disk space will be used. Do you want to continue? Yes or no? Yes, we want to continue. And we enter on that, and it goes off and starts doing all our updates, which will take a few minutes to complete. So while that's running updates and upgrades, we will let it run in the background and we'll come back when it's finished. And as we can see here, the progress for each of the updates and upgrades is running in the background. This may take some time to complete. After several minutes, we should find that our installation is almost complete. We're currently on progress of 99%, and once that's finished, then we'll have our updates and our upgrades done. So once the updates and upgrades are finished at 100%, we'll be back and ready to move on with our next step. So in our next video, we'll look at changing the host name and changing the username, and also enabling a password for the root account. And we'll follow that up then with configuration of our network adapters, followed by an installation of Apache web server and the configuration of the homepage on Apache web server. So until then, continue on.